This guy speaks, so he's the healthy primate. Thanks, Reed. Yeah. He has a health and wellness company, and he has a training company. He's had a software company, and he's also helped raise $15 million.
Yes.
And he's worked with over 450 entrepreneurs to help them with raising capital and stuff. So what I asked him to do, he actually came in from Arizona. He met with Microsoft yesterday to do a TV show called Burgers and Burgers.
Yeah. We did a reality show, and then we did a podcast called Business and Burgers.
Right, yeah. So he's offered to come here real quick, because I'm recording this so that I can use it for other trainings and stuff. Just to give you a couple of points of what you should have in your pitch or what you need in your process in order to line that stuff up. So I'll give you 10, 15 minutes, and then you guys can ask me questions. So he's actually from Arizona, but he came out here to do this.
I'm from Utah, but I live in Phoenix. So you guys, a couple.
But he flew out here just for us.
I flew out here to see Rock, really. And he's like, I got a thing going on. You should come. I was like, I would love to come do this thing. There's a couple of things, guys. You know, I spent 15 years, and I grew up here. I'm a child of a very humble beginning, meaning I was broke growing up. I had a mattress on the floor. My parents didn't have anything. So for me, when I started my journey, I never wanted money to be the central focus of my relationships with my family and other people. So my way to do that was I got into corporate America, and specifically technology. And I moved to Phoenix, got into IT, and I spent 15 years in technology in Phoenix as an executive running high-performance sales and marketing programs for companies such as Microsoft, Dell, Cisco, and Apple. And I had about a $500 million nut every year. So we'd sell about $500 million a year. I spent $1 million a month on branding, not traditional marketing exercises, right? I left that after 15 years, 4 kids, and I finally financially got to a place that I was happy. And I left all of that to go start a software company because there was this huge need that existed in the marketplace with this customer set. I'm not a developer by trade, but essentially learned how to code at night on the weekends, was able to figure out how to fix this one specific problem, hired people. I played a developer on TV. I wasn't a real developer, so I brought real developers in, and we started a company. For me, when you're looking at raising funding, there's a couple things, right? Is when you go, there's 4 pillars for any business you're going to build ever. Just because you think you have a good idea means nothing. If the market doesn't validate what you're doing, your ideas don't mean shit, like they're garbage. If the market doesn't facilitate payment for your product or goods, it doesn't matter how good you think the idea is. How many of you thought you had a good idea and then Googled and saw somebody else did it, didn't do it? All of us, right? That's actually a really good thing, and I can tell you actually that means people are doing it, people are paying to be in that marketplace. That's really a good thing. You shouldn't be discouraged by that. But in this process, identifying a group of people who have a problem, creating a product or solution that solidifies that problem. The third piece is validation. That's where a lot of this stuff falls apart. Through the validation, meaning you created a product or solution that people are willing to pay for, right? You do beta programs, do early adopter programs. We're going to let you in now at a quarter of the cost of what it's going to be at retail cost. You're going to be part of this for the next 90 days, and we want you to participate in a dialogue to make it better. And people, if the problem is big enough, will pay to be part of that. Every company I've ever built, and I've got 25 in the last 15 years, every single one of them, I had paying customers in the beta program before I raised $1. We were cash positive going in. I used the money to scale, meaning I needed 15 more developers and I'm adding 3 more product lines. It wasn't to get my product off the ground. So from a finance perspective, the first round of funding, we raised $10 million, and that was to go get more developers and to really speed us to market. So when you're looking at what you do, there's a couple things. Making sure you've got a solidified marketplace that's paying for your products and services is key. Again, that validation is what you need to be spending your time on. Having a kick-ass product that solves your problem solvers. We need you more than ever. Like, I can't tell you how exciting this room is for the fact that this is the backbone as to how America is made, and this is how we're going to continue moving forward. Right? So solving problems is at the core of what everything it is you do. Regardless of your niche, it's solving a problem. Spending time in that validation process is going to be key. So as all of these things are happening, I had a really weird, interesting anomaly happen to me last year. How many of you guys use social media for business? How many of you are making money on social media? It's about half. I was a keynote at Phoenix Startup Week, and I talked to 800 people in 3 different groups, asked that same question. 3 people, over 1,600 people raised their hands and said, I'm making money on social media. An interesting thing happened where if you did business with me, you knew who I was. On social media, it was pictures of my kids and vacations and bullshit, right? Which is how most of us show up. When I put that down and took the curtain down and said, you know what? I got challenged to do 7 days filming. I did about 2 to 3 minutes per video, and I shared my story of real stuff, of this is what it really looks like to start a business. This is what I do. And I swore, and I've got tattoos head to toe, and guess what? I'm real. Like, for years I tried to hide that in corporate America, and I wasn't myself. I was like, oh my gosh, if somebody finds out that I've got tattoos, they're gonna look at me different. Or if I say the F word once in a while, am I gonna be thought of as, it's a colorful adjective that really fits the narrative. I don't use it to fill space. I use it because sometimes that's the word that really fits what I'm trying to say, right? So, yeah, right? Sometimes you say fucking. So in this scenario, I got real, and these 7 videos got about 10,000 views in a week. And I remember the first 1,000. It said 1K. I was like, what does that mean? And I know math, and I know how numbers work, and I'm like, 1,000? My average video a year before that was I had a picture of my kid. Who doesn't love kids? And I think I had 3 likes, and I was like, wow, who doesn't like 3 likes a year ago? And here's this video series where I had 1,000, then 2,000, then 10,000. Last year I hit 2 million impressions. I had 1 million in 10 months, and then in 2 months I hit another 1 million. And then the curtains flowed. It was, I've gotten this nickname as the entrepreneurs, and like, how do you use social media to tell a story? So as you're doing your validation process, the reason I tell you, I'll hit 10 million impressions this year. I'm tracking to do 1 million a month. And why is that? Thank you. It's not accolades, man. I'm in people's faces. Spent a lot of time with Casey Neistat and guys like Gary Vee, and it's like I just continually, I put out 200 pieces of content in 6 months, 200 videos in 6 months. I do stuff every single day. It's not just to show up, it's to show up and add value. So when you're looking at the validation process and how you show up, how many of you are actually sharing your journey as to how hard it is and what you've actually put on the line to start your business? A little bit. So let me give you an example, and then we'll wrap this up. If you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I was walking around at about 265 pounds. I lost a bunch of weight. There's a race I do with my father-in-law at Camp Pendleton, San Diego. It's a Marine-based race. I'd done it 6 years prior, so in my head I'd done the race. I showed up and ran that run, walked the race at 260. Got done, went to the hotel room, was showering, and I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. I was so just embarrassed. And I was like, this can't be the way it is. Lost a bunch of weight. Long story short, I'm in the best physical shape of my life going into my 40s. And I go to have coffee with a friend of mine who writes training curriculums for a big box gym in the West Coast, and he goes, you look great, how do you feel? And I said, God, I feel like shit, I'm really tied up. And he goes, your cortisol levels are messed up. That's your hormones around stress. I met with 30 different doctors in 3 weeks to understand how my body produces the hormones called stress, because I knew I didn't want to feel that way. Long and short of that is I found a natural way to address it, and I spent 18 months testing over 135 different variations of what are called adaptogens. It's Chinese medicine stuff, you know. It's ginseng, it's garlic, it's valerian root, it's vitamin C, it's vitamin B, because I didn't want to take Prozac and Xanax. And I documented the entire thing on my personal page while I was starting a business page. I blog and do about 20,000 hits a day. And I transitioned because people like real. You can't fabricate real. You can't fabricate authenticity. People will see you or they don't. When they see you positioning who you are, that's who you're going to attract, right? Some people aren't going to like you, and the people you grew up with, screw them. It's the people that are in your niche that are going to really start to latch on, that are going to go to that message. So when I went through this process, and every 30 days, I documented and videoed my entire experience to show what was happening to my body when I was getting blood work done. What happened when I launched our product? We sold almost $100,000 in 1 day. Why? I didn't know some e-commerce secret. I didn't hack the system. I didn't have SEO down. No, I literally took a bunch of people with me and said, this is who I am. I lost my house. We sold our house. I almost got divorced, and I just pushed all the chips in. And then when it came time to launch the product, the market reciprocated. The market answered. The market validated by what? The biggest respect you'll ever get is somebody giving you $1 for anything you ever do, and you owe them something. Fair enough? Cool. So when you guys are going to pitch, be real. Be honest. Don't 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 pontificate. Get right to the facts. Be crisp. Who are you? What do you do? What's the problem you solve? Why are you different? And what are you going to do with your money? You kind of I need 20 grand. Cool. What do you need it for? More stuff. Okay. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to hire 3 more marketing guys. We're going to go all in on Facebook because we know I can get you targeted on this widget. Like, know what you're going to do with your money. And differentiate yourself. Start being real. Start being honest. Start sharing who you are as an entrepreneur. I don't have a personal business. I don't separate them. I do stuff here and I bring them here, and then I go here. So as you guys are doing it, be honest, be real, share your stories, know what you're gonna do with your business, be crisp, keep doing it. You're gonna want to quit because it sucks. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do. Don't keep going. We need you. That's it.
My brother.